Hello everyone, I'm Data from JGX and here we are with another Mech review. Today we'll talk about the Ebon Jaguar. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to my channel and thank you in advance. So, the hitboxes. The CT is pretty large and when you equip side torso weapons, even the side torsos become very big. Even when you try to shield sideways, the CT is pretty easy to hit. So this is not quite of a tank. This is not a tank. It doesn't even have that many survival quirks because it is intended to be a gunboat. It is very good on the offensive, not that much on the defensive side. The agility is in line with all the other laser vomit mechs, like for example Timberwolf, Grasshopper, Hellbringer. They're all more or less like Black Knight, Warhammer. They all more or less share the same agility. So these mechs don't shine over the other laser vomits for agility. But now we will talk about the specific setups that you can run, like the best setups to run. First of all, the laser vomit one, the pretty obvious one. The torsos, laser vomit torsos, the one with the most energy pods. You are suggested to do like this: column, left torso, and you can choose to put the large pulse at the top. So basically you put first the med and will end up at the bottom, then you put the large pulse, it will end up in the middle, in the top, and then the med again. Same thing for the right torso. You can choose to have the large pulse on the top. So you put the med first and then the large pulse and it goes at the top. Layout expanded. As for the quirks, you can have some quirks on this one. If you use the B, right arm, you get energy cooldown 5%. The alternative is the A, but it doesn't have quirks. And then left arm, you can either go for the B for extra energy cooldown, I don't know how much you need it, or you can go for the hero arm for laser duration 2.5. You don't need an extra energy because you can alpha strike only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ER meds, not 7. Why large pulses and not heavy larges? Also, please look at my video on the Hellbringer, where basically the situation was the opposite. There, on the Hellbringer, we have the slots, and we don't have the tonnage, so we put heavy larges. Here, we don't have slots, but we do have tonnage, so we put large pulses. Is this better than the other one? The alpha strike of that one is bigger, and it has one more heatsink, but this one is more damage per hit efficient. Doesn't have ECM, of course. The point is that it does more burst because of the cooldown and the duration. So less alpha, but more focused alpha, and you'll be able to alpha earlier because the cooldown is faster. So they both have their merits and their downsides. This is how this sort of laser vomit handles on the battlefield against 2 large pulse, and 6 ER meds. This is how you're supposed to play it.
Heat level critical.
Then another interesting one is the 4 large pulse one. You can equip it in 2 ways. You can put all 4 of them in the torsos if you want to have them closer to the center of the mass, but since you're not leading the bullet, you don't really need to do that. That's why my 4 large pulse Ebon Jaguar has them like this, kind of a, even if it is arm mounted, it's not that low compared to the torso mounts, but by setting it up like this, you get energy heat 2.5. It may not seem much, but once you keep shooting and shooting and shooting, it is a lot. And then again, 5 cooldown, 5 cooldown, you don't need the laser duration on large pulses, and this is how it handles. Of course, you shouldn't alpha strike it, it's pretty obvious.
Heat level critical.
Next one is the Lerm one. There is an Ebon Jaguar that is heavily quirked on LRMs. So you can put 4 LRM20s on that one. It is significant in terms of quirks, and I don't know why people don't use it. It's one of the mechs that maybe got a bit overbuffed. Surely stronger than the Mad Dog. If you want a tag, you can equip EC arms, missile heat gen, you know. The C1, of course, it's using the set of 8. Missile spread, not that much for a set of 8, so you could, in theory, replace one of the C arms with an EC arm to get a tag into it. The point here is that we have missile heat gen 5, missile cooldown, missile velocity, another cooldown, and then even more cooldown, missile velocity, even more cooldown, and on this arm again even more heat gen. So this is pretty big in terms of learning capabilities. Of course, you don't alpha strike all 4 alarm 20s together.
Target acquired.
It's very cold. And the cooldown is pretty quick.
Heat level critical.
Then I'd say the last one is the Daka one. The Daka one also needs the hero to be perfected. You could run it without, but I think that if you have the hero pods, you should use them. So we can say that the hero Ebon Jaguar is pretty useful to get a lot of good builds around. So it's a hero you should consider buying. As for the Daka one, you can use the A right torso, the hero left torso, then the C arms. So what I'm going for here is you had gem chance 10%, and here we are at 20%, 30%, and then 40%. You act jam chance, and we also have ballistic cooldown 20% for 3 ultra 5s. It may seem undergunned, but it isn't because of those quirks.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
So you could actually remove some ammo and put the Ultra 10s, but the point is I don't think Ultra 10s are any good. They jump too much, they hit up too much, the projectile is too slow, and I want to have enough ammunition to carry the entire game. So I don't think there is any reason to like reduce the amount of ammo and slap in some ultras. Like the mech would become insanely hot and it would run short on ammunition. Very short. This could be like a 6v6, maybe comp environment, but it's, I don't know. I wouldn't use it. 3 Ultra 5s instead is pretty solid. The set of 8s are pretty shit because it's the mechs themselves that if you don't share the pods, they have pretty trash weapon dispositions, stuff like one you whack on one arm, one you whack in the other arm, they'll flip-flop all over the place. So to me, these are the only valid Ebon Jaguar builds. You can add the double ghost for meds. This is decent all-around build, but Gauss, unfortunately, is not really in the right place at the moment. It's an okay weapon, but it's very far from being meta. With this one, you could have some punch at long range with a double Gauss,
Acquired.
and then you can also utilize some medium lasers at medium range. It's kind of like a laser vomit usage. Problem is that the Gauss explodes. The Gauss explodes and just don't have the same punch, the same reliability because it's harder to use the Gauss. So this is kind of an okay build, but it's not that good. You could use this, but it's not that good. I don't think that there are any other decent builds on the Ebon Jaguar. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to smash the subscribe button. I'll catch you guys next time.